name is Raquel, an artist and entertainer here in the 757, and I'm here to answer your questions about the art of drag. Sharon asks, how did you get started doing drag? Well, Sharon, I got started doing drag when I was in high school, I guess probably over 25 years ago. You know, I'm that old. Jennifer asks, who was your stage persona and how do you determine what that was and why? Well, Jennifer, that's a really interesting question. I think in the art of drag, you're always changing your persona. Some drag artists know what their stage name is and what their costume is from day one, and they stick to that their entire career. As a theater artist, for me, it's all evolving. I love changing my persona. It's always a different look, it's always a different costume, it's always a different style of music, and that's kind of where my persona sits. It's really not a persona per se, but it's just an evolving art form for me. Charisse asks, how did you choose your aesthetic? Kind of like what Jennifer asked, it's I like to keep it, you know, kind of classy and rock and roll, you know, but I still like to evolve and change and keep up with current events and music and things like that. So it's always a evolving persona, if that's how you want to put it. Jean asks, who or what is your inspiration? Well, Jean, my inspiration is everything around me. People around me, art around me, music around me. Once you see something or hear something, you automatically get this like feeling and sensation inside, and then you jump on it and then you start creating. It's just kind of one of those instant things that you get, especially for me as an artist. It just happens naturally for me. Meg asks, what is the biggest misconception people, particularly straight men, have about drag queens and why they do drag? Well, Meg, I don't think it's really a misconception. I think it's just that they're not used to it. They're not surrounded by it. I think one of the, if you want to consider it a misconception, is like maybe they feel maybe a little uncomfortable because we look a little bit better than their girlfriends do, which is totally fine. So maybe they're more curious than misconcepted. Tessa asks, what are some good wig tips to keep them on your head? There's one simple product for that, spray adhesive. How many wigs do you own? Tessa asks. A lot of them. They're hanging around someplace. I do own a lot of them. I can't count them all. Javal asks, how do you get your hair so big? You just layer, stack them on top of each other. That's how you keep it big. Hairspray. Don't forget the hairspray. Sadea asks, best place to get wigs, or do you make your own? No, unfortunately, I'm not a wig artist. Fortunately, I've had some great talented wig artists that have done it for me in the theater. But in the past, I think just going to your local beauty shop and just finding what suits you and what the character asks for. You know, go with what works for you. Bex asks, would you work with a drag king? Well, Bex, over my entire drag career, I've worked with many drag kings, and I think they're just as talented and as beautiful as the queens up on stage in big hair and jewelry. It's very complicated, it's a lot of work, and I respect them all. Do you have any questions about drag? Comment below, we will try to answer them.